You bring up the presentation?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hello everyone. Let me share my screen.
And I can talk about it. Do you need the presentation, right, Roshan?
Yes, I have.
Is Rupa going to join us too?
Let me call her. I don't know where she is. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Hey, Manny, are you? Could you help us take notes?
Yeah, I always take notes. Don't worry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So for the today's call, we are going to cover about the whole healthcare initiative on the Centaurus platform. The idea with Centaurus on the healthcare is how we bring the overall work that we have done in Alnair and on Arctos Mizar combined to showcase an end-to-end customer scenario. And the goal with this thing is basically engage the community with the real-time scenario and see the Centaurus capability working in the live mode. So any thought process, Annie, you want to add to this thing at all?
No, it's great. I mean, we went over this very briefly at very high level with your team when we had the SOW discussion, right? But it would be great to hear from you directly.
Yeah. So the whole idea is basically to energize the community, to showcase like Centaurus is just not a sort of a research project, but actually it is a functioning application model which can be utilized into industry vertical. And this is just the beginning of the whole idea. This idea, I think, like will go very far. I have that similar discussion on the in the Austin LinuxCon with Dr. Shong on this one, and we both agreed that this kind of initiatives would give Centaurus a new vision altogether.
Yeah.
And when I told him like we could do it as a part of this thing, he said like this is a great idea. I mean, if you can start this initiative, we will see that how the community can support you to basically turn it into a more of a business idea, and eventually either it can be part of the overall community or Click to Cloud can bring it to different sort of like global level initiative based on the Centaurus platform. So the next step for this thing, can you go to the next slide, please, Roshan? So basically, I'll go through it. That's fine. If I need any help, I'll ask you. I know it's a very basic presentation. Yeah, good.
Yeah, should I keep in presentation mode that I'm asking?
Yeah. I mean, either way is fine. I think you can keep in presentation or normal mode is also fine. So basically, we are taking up two different initiatives here. One is a metaverse and another is a healthcare approach. And from the healthcare standpoint, precisely, my goal is to basically work with the existing community. And you will be seeing a bunch of emails from me. Is how do we see the existing Centaurus solution integrated in the real life environment? So we have dashboards, we have all the other things already in place, like the whole concept of the transactional unit and the TPU and I think resource unit combined for scaling model. And then we have ability to VM as well as the container-based solutions that are already in place. So the goal is to create a blueprint that is easy to deployable on any cloud infrastructure. Or basically any cloud. So we bundle this package and we deploy this. For that, the whole idea is to basically work with the existing overall community team, Peng, Dr. Shong's team, Vinay, and all those people to see that how we bring Arctos Mizar and the Alnair, all this thing and Fornex combined as a solution for edge. Then the whole AI, and then the overall platform for the compute and network together. And maybe eventually we have other use cases where once the storage integration is done, we can work toward it. So bringing the entire story in overall Go. With that thought process, I mean, in this one, mostly it is focused on the first use case. So can you go back to healthcare use case scenario for me, Roshan? And then I'll let you talk about the metaverse part of it. So this diagram is pretty clear. Like what we are trying to do is we have, no, go back to the previous screen. Yeah, thanks. Let me see if I can hide the presenter's view here. Yeah. So Peng, any questions on this diagram? I mean, is it self-explanatory or should I walk through this? I will walk through this in here. But
It would be great. I mean, I have seen it, but I think there are some people on the team have not seen it. And I think this is a very good use case. Yeah, please go ahead.
yeah. So any medical systems in the world is typically based on EHR, which is electronic health records. I mean, when you visit the hospitals, everything has been sort of like captured these days is electronic health record. There are imaging systems. Imaging system is all about radiology and other sorts of imaging, from sonography to all sorts of imaging are available in the world. Then there is research data, typically on the genomics, from wet labs to the diagnostic labs. CRM is all about any CRM in the world. Salesforce could be any other CRM, which are like or Microsoft Dynamics or Oracle Financials. And the billing data are there for a hospital typically. So those data needs to be ingested and those data needs to be created on edge node. So we are thinking of using Alner and Arctos capacity as a node over there. And Roshan, correct me if I'm going anywhere wrong. So you can chime in between.
Yeah,
And
sure.
then we have Ceph object, which is a storage object for storing the data. And we also have variables and sensors and the lab information and Twitter analytics and other applications mobile like bot system, which could be bringing the data. So the core of this overall system is Centaurus platform. This is going to be a big test for all of us in terms of like how we can make this overall system functioning. And this is also sort of like as a TSC member, it's a big challenge that we thought we should try to work towards it. On the right hand side, you can see Power App, application, patient portal and stuff like that, but it doesn't have to be Power BI. It can be anything like Looker or simple Tableau or any sort of solution. So whatever technology you see, except the part of Fornex and then the overall Alner and Arctos, everything or the overall the cloud that we are thinking of with Arctos, Mizar and Alner combined, we are sort of like making a small hub that can be deployed on any cloud in general. Any questions on this one?
Yeah, what's the difference between hot path and cold path?
The hot path is basically the live data and the cold path is basically the analytics data. So in some way, the cold path, if you see the CRM and the other EHR data sources are typically cold path because they are not giving the transactional data. The live path is the hot path is like the streaming data, which is like live in nature. So wearables are capturing every second the data, medical devices capturing every single second of the data, or even the lab sometimes is capturing the real-time data. Or Twitter's people are writing about your cloud is the real-time data or your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And then also, are we ready to say this is going to be cross geography? Or this has to be one day? I mean, can we have cross geography, like one, for example, one edge is in like New York, another edge is in California, and then the cloud is in like, you know, London or something like that. Are we ready to say that?
Depending on the Fornex edge capability, if edge is ready with the installation of this in different location, absolutely. In fact, we can also make it in terms of regional cloud. So it can be a platform that can be region specific too, but that can be like phase 2, phase 3 kind of an approach. Absolutely. So what we are thinking is basically how do we bring this project in the community where we can see some use cases. Because all the communities that has been successful must have a use case associated with that.
Yep.
And we believe that our community can thrive and be successful, and a lot of adoption will happen if we have a real-time use cases for it.
Yeah, it would be good to have a page to say what we can do today and what we can, what's in the vision, right, for future. I think we probably need a slide for that, like, because that's questions gonna come up. It's like, okay, the diagram looks really good. It looks very idealistic, but what can we offer today versus, what is in the vision that we're inviting the community to come work with us on.
So for that thing, like, since it's a TSC is technical in nature, I would like to have like most of the team members, maybe we can go on the community call and work with the rest of the team members and understand that what are the features are working in nature. Because I have not yet played. Roshan, what is your belief? Like, do you think the current Centaurus is capable of delivering this, or are there gaps?
We will need to check this because we know the technical capabilities, but when like deploying this whole scenario, we'll have to check like whether Centaurus is capable of doing this or not.
Peng, any idea on this one? Do you think it's a possible in current state?
I have a few questions and suggestions. This is very similar to something we have been working on, one of the projects here. So I'll start with some suggestions. So the Fornex Edge, I would replace those core Fornex Edge core and the Fornex Cloud core with just replace the core with cluster, because the essence, if you will, for Fornex is about you're able to run clusters instead of just single machine. So the same core that gave the wrong impression there. Yeah, so that's the first suggestion. Second of all, there's recently we gave a talk at Open Source Summit in Europe. That has to do, it's actually very similar to what you are showing. We have federated learning, we have medical data from smartwatch and all that. It's a collaboration with UW Basel. So I want to talk to you more about that and see how we can apply that to this, because overall the graph is very similar.
Is there a possibility to share your existing design with us post this call?
I'm trying to find the recording for that talk.
Okay.
Once I find it, I will send that to you.
Got it.
Yeah. The third one I will say is you're showing Actos in these 3 boxes here.
Yeah.
In my impression, Actos is more meant for the cloud, especially very large scale. If you talk about the Actos 2.0 that's going on, so putting Actos on the edge or close to the data source, that feels a little weird. That doesn't seem to align with what Actos is designed to do. But Fornex Edge cluster definitely is for that, so that you have the control plane, you have some clusters running in the cloud that's doing the integration data, that's doing the basically gathering all the data model from different edges and do some work together, essentially to update the model back to the edge. I'll give you one example. One is the hospital. Some hospital can gather data of COVID and train their model locally, but those model can only apply to that single hospital. So there's paper that they send this model to a central or a more central location, so they do aggregation. And with that, they send the updated model back to different hospital. Now they are able to detect COVID from other hospital, from other COVID cases that other hospital have seen. So I think that's what one of the possible cases with what you are showing.
I mean, I'm not short of use cases on this one, Peng, but one of the idea is like that good that you pointed out some of the interesting thing. So let's talk about few things on that one. One is like, okay, yeah, we replace the whole edge core with the cluster. instead of it becomes like multiple edge nodes and then it becomes a cluster. We remove the Arctos because Arctos is the central location where we work on the scaling model of Kubernetes infrastructure, like to thousands of nodes, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the AI capability on edge node and AI capability on the Arctos side of the world?
For AI, I can add something. So far we are a platform, means like if you have the image, you have the training or inference algorithm, we can definitely serve on a small GPU cluster, has no problems. And we also provide some basic cache capability and data analysis ability. So that's what we offer, but we also start touching the application layer. One application we're working on is in the 3D rendering field, probably related with the metaverse application you listed on the second bullet. That's the application, and we are working on how to speed up the rendering part.
Got it.
Okay.
So are you talking about, like, when you say the image rendering, does it covers like a dental scan or maybe like a COVID scan or like all those things?
Oh, those like image, medical image classification, we did not provide like a default model that based on what user brings in.
So what is the image computer vision areas that are covered as a part of current use case?
Oh, that rendering is to generate novel views. Like if you have, say, 5 different pictures of a car, we can render a 360-degree of the view of that car. That kind of generation.
I mean, typically we are looking for like some of the use cases when we are using with like AI capability to have from the computer vision standpoint. Since we are focusing on the medical aspect of it, is there any scenarios that we can use Alner in the current thinking, the AI capability?
Sure, if you just want to do some, like, that's based on your needs. If you just want to do some image classification, we can pull some standard model and pack a container image for you. And then when you use it, we just, now owner just like a inference server, you submit the hospital images and we tell you what's that. So that can be done.
No, but at the same time, what we are thinking is this entire infrastructure have to be deployed in as a cohesive environment. Like, it doesn't have to be like you have to send a separate infrastructure. It has to work as if, like, for the end user, it's just a simple application where the use cases can be run. For them, they don't know Alner, they don't know Arctos, they don't know Mizar, they don't know the Fornex cluster, right?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That could just like a serverless API endpoint kind of connection, right?
Got it. Is there any knowledge graph or event mining capability in the current AI?
We did not bring that part. We assume that from the customer side.
Okay. So what are the core capabilities of Arner is going to provide in the current development cycle?
Currently, we focus on the infrastructure, the platform, like how to orchestrate different jobs among the GPU along the GPU clusters, and do the cluster health management and GPU sharing. Focus on the infrastructure.
One of the things that I mean, as a community TSC, I would like to see that in next some of the meetings, Annie and if Deepak is there, that I can ask other TSC member to attend, is a demo on the Alner, right? What is the capability and how far we have progressed in some of the use cases area? Because for us, the interest area is like quite a bit into the knowledge graph and event mining, and also like looking into the lineage graph methodologies where learning can be computed, and maybe GPT 3.0 or Google AI, the new collaboration integration sort of pieces.
Okay, so you are like, you more look forward to have some like APIs you can directly use to extract knowledge from your data.
No, we need to also have this deployed on a central machine where like we got some development members here. Ultimately, this has to be created for the demo as a package. Annie, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but this whole system has to work for the community, right?
Yeah. So actually, I'm really glad we're talking about this. So I think there's several stages. There are several things we need to tackle, right? So from a deliverable standpoint, I just want everybody to know, Prashant, we have several meetings. We had with RuPaul. So we have several events coming up. The very next one is O3DCon. RuPaul and I, we have a talk, which is going to be on October 17 to 19 in Austin. And I think a lot of audience people there are, into all this, like the imaging, metaverse kind of people. And then we want to use this demo because there are two use cases here. One is healthcare, and the other one is metaverse, right? Centaurus for healthcare, Centaurus for metaverse. But then I can see Centaurus for healthcare can be like the stage one, the basic healthcare kind of infrastructure based on Centaurus. And then we can take it to the next level, which is metaverse, and that's for medical people to do training. For example, what you guys talk about earlier, who is that? Zhao Bo was saying, we can do 3D image rendering and that kind of stuff. So I can think of a scenario that if a surgeon wants to teach people how to do heart bypass surgery, right? And all the medical students are everywhere. They are in New Jersey, New York, California, and the teachers in Austin. So they can all put on a kind of a metaverse goggle and look at that heart image, 3D heart image, and the professor can teach that. So as if everybody's in one single virtual room. So that would be the metaverse for medical training, right? And actually, I saw that exact same story in 60 Minutes. So it is happening today, and people are thinking that way. So it's not science fiction. So if we can be more concrete on, like Medicare, the Centaurus for Medicare, this is this scenario, and then we can take it to next level, which is next use case. How do you apply metaverse into this whole healthcare scenario? And we can use the heart bypass surgery as an example, right? And more concrete we can give to people, the more confidence people are going to have in us. So from a deliverable standpoint, we have several events coming up. One is O3DCon in October, and next one is ONE Seattle. So we'll have a C-level roundtable. Actually, we bought a half-day co-located event at the ONE in Seattle. Prashant, I would definitely love if you can make it. I know you guys have a board meeting and stuff, but if you can just even pop in, and I'll be happy to even give you a slot to talk. And our goal is to have this technology strategist, the C-level people come. We're targeting about 50 people, and it's going to be in the middle of ONE events. So ONE will, Linux Foundation will promote it for us. And I think it's a very good opportunity to capture in Linux Foundation audience. So it's going to be a 50 people event, and we have half day. And so we want to make our half day more attractive to people. So the topic would be Centaurus and the metaverse. So again, we can use the same use cases here, and we can present it there. And that's going to be November 15 to 16 in Seattle. So that's that. And then there's also other events like member summit and other events that we can leverage. But these are the two major events that we want to make sure that we can leverage the material we're working on and present them there. And this material, so for deliverable, for content preparation standpoint, number one is I think this graph or this picture, it gives a very basic fundamental kind of vision, but I do think it's still, for anybody technical, they have a lot of questions, just like Prashant was asking earlier. So it will be good for our next step will be our technical team and Prashant, your team, to get together and nail down all these questions that you ask, right? Exactly what we can do today and what's in the vision. I think we need to have that very clearly, because we can't, when we go present this material, we can't just do a smoky mirror. We have to be very precise. Okay, well, this is what we can do today. But for any open source project, we know it's never complete. That's why we're presenting to the community, and we want them to help us. But we should at least, number one, what we can do today. So Prashant, your team, and Zhao Bo's team, and then and just Dr. Sean's team, Pengdu's team can get together and figure out, okay, exactly what Fornex can do today, and then what's in the vision, down the road, what we can do. And then same as the other, Arctos, Alnair, Mitsar, what we can do today. We should have a sheet, a page for that, and add it to this presentation. And then we can also have a page for future, what's our vision. So what we can do today can be within one region, and in the future we can have a cross region. And for AI part, what we can do today, like 3D in rendering, and what we can do in the future, and which is metaverse, that's a lot more complex involved. So and then we'll fill the gap. We do have my team, we do have experts in metaverse area. Like, so metaverse is huge. I mean, it's not just 3D rendering. There's a lot more than just that. But what we can position is Centaurus is the foundation to make all this happen, right? So again, my feeling is this picture is good. It gives the basic to work with, but we do need to nail down more. And then to take it to next level, I think that would be, so the first phase is the content. We need to know what exactly we can do today and what's the vision. And then we have this information. And the next thing is we can do the demo. So we should be able to have a turnkey demo, like, a very simple scenario. And then we can just run the demo really quickly at various conferences. And then that would involve some, scripting and development work. So that would be even further down. But for at least for October 17, that O3D conference, actually I have related this request to the at the SOW meeting. We should have this presentation all done. So at least we can get the story straight, right, in October. And for ONE, if we can get demo done, that would be even better. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what you guys think. Is it achievable?
I mean, as you recommended, Annie, that we need to have a meeting with the technical team to break it down. I mean, just at looking at the picture, Pengdu already gave us such a good suggestion that the edge core has to turn into cluster, Arctos have to move into the central location. And then I think I forgot the name of her, but she was talking about the...
That's Zhao Bo. Yeah,
Zhao Bo?
Yeah, Zhao Bo is
Zhao Bo. Yeah,
right.
yeah, Zhao Bo. Yeah.
Right.
Miss Zhang, I would call her Miss Zhang.
Miss Zhang, yeah, that's easier, right? Right. So she's Elnair, right? And Pengdu is Edge. Edge Fornex, yes.
Yeah. So basically, Ms. Zhang and Pengdu can help us to tee this up, basically, because most of the scenario, I think my team is very comfortable with Arctos and Mizar because they have worked very closely. But these two pieces have been always unknown for us. So as a next step, Roshan, what you need to do is get the, excuse me, guys. Get the Arctos and Mizar deployed, which is like a Centaurus, and then basically also deploy the Fornex sort of like cluster on the edge side of it, and then work with Ms. Zhang on understanding that how the Alnair can be integrated into that piece as a service. So this has to be sort of an on-premise installation. Run this system either into Dr. Shang's environment or in our environment, whatever is possible right now with the given timeline, and then have a clear-cut use case. So at least have just a basic use case, like if we pull the research data on, for example, hard data, then how to analyze that images 360 degree, and then take it to the story slowly towards the metaverse portion of it. So I think we need a one-to-one meeting with all the three teams, like the Alnair team, the Fornex team, and also the Centaurus team, first you give it a shot. If you are stuck with something, just pull it from the repository. And if we are stuck, then we can always go and ask Pengdu and Ms. Zhang about how do we proceed further. But we should have a clear-cut use case on this one.
Yeah. Manny, who will be responsible for Octos and Mitzar? You know, we should have a point person for each one. Who?
Let me consult Dr. Strong on this person. I'm not sure because we're all working on different priorities right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So okay. So just Roshan. So I want to let you know that as part of the SOW deliverable, I'd like to have one page so what's today's capability, and then we another slide for you know, vision in the future. So very concrete what we can deliver, what we are hoping to deliver. So for both use cases, we should add 2 more slides, and then just work with the technical team.
Sure.
On getting the information. And for the technical team, for the demo, you know, we can always prioritize. The first one is if we can't do a, you know, live demo, that kind of thing, I know that's more advanced. At least we should be able to do the, you know, smoky mirror kind of thing, right? Like a movie, just to show how things can be done and have something that's pre-recorded. So that would be, if that's easier to do first. And then, you know, then we can use the real data down the road. Like I understand Dr. Shong's team's got different priorities, but you know, for the demo down the road, is there something for you to consider? But the very minimum before October 15, for the SOW deliverable, I would like to know what can be done today, and have a slide, what can be done today and what's in the vision for future. That's a very minimum. We should have that content. Otherwise, you know, to be honest, I don't feel comfortable presenting this to use cases to the outside world.
Yeah, so Annie, I will try to see that if I can make time. I mean, I'll ask Rupal if she is available or not. Otherwise, I will go with you to present that, because these are like kind of technical stuff.
Yeah.
So while we need somebody from the sales and marketing, it might also attract a lot of technical questions. So I think I'll talk to Rupal internally about that, because this becomes important step for us when we are bringing the world this kind of vision. Then we need to have real technical people also engage into this presentation.
Right. I feel like, you know, I mean, you guys have done a great job, and then getting this talk like O3D, and then, you know, I know Rupal has been working very hard to get us all these talks, and now we're putting ourselves on center stage. Yeah. We need to have something solid to show. So yeah, you're always welcome. Whenever I'm speaking, your help is definitely appreciated. It's greatly appreciated. Yeah. Okay. So this one, so at least we know who is who, and we get this done. And it looks like the Dr. Shong's team has done something similar, and we just need to merge the knowledge banks on both sides, and then, you know, create this ultimate official, you know, slide for Centaurus project. And again, you know, so Roshan knows our timeline, so I know we're kind of running short on time. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe as a next step, we'll set a one-to-one meeting with Pengdu, because he is greatly knowledgeable in this area, and Ms. Zhang on understanding the AI capability. And we already have like Centaurus deployment capability. So we'll pull the latest code base. Peng, can you talk about the UW Bothell initiative that you mentioned about? Did you able to find that?
I'm still looking for it, but I think I'll give me a few more seconds, and I'll send a link in the chat.
Got it.
Yeah.
I think today's agenda, Deepak asked me to give an update on the Elner as well. So since
sure.
Everybody curious what the Elner can do, so I just do a quick update, and maybe you guys can leverage some of the components working on the metaverse part. It could be a little bit easier on the health part, because we have some APIs and services there. Okay, I will.
That's wonderful. Please do that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Next page. Okay, now it works. So LNR is the AI part of the AI component of the Centaurus. And first of all, it's a cloud native AI platform. So means every workload we serve are in the container format, and we categorize. We categorize the AI stack in those 4 layers, and we try to do optimization on each of the layers. On the bottom is the hardware, and then the container platform, and then the machine learning framework, and then the emerging application. And for the emerging applications, our LNR side, we're working on the 3D rendering, the neural rendering, which mainly means based on some existing image, we can generate novel views. And in the metaverse scenario, one thing we identify we could do is like a immersive meeting or those game play scenario. What we do is we track the real person's face expression, and then we drive avatar. We control the avatar's facial expression, and then create that like a virtual virtual scenario. And for this part, we have some algorithm and API ready for others to call. I think that is this part is the most relevant part. And then go down is we have a cache manager, which leverage the in-memory storage to cache the training data. So when you do the training, it will be faster. And we also have elastic framework on this level. We can do the elastic training, which means instead of using one single machine, we can use multiple machines. So the training will be faster. Okay, back to the goal is so far we focus more on the training side. It means like if you want to generate a image classification model, or you want to have a language model, you use our training platform. I think that is a little harder to for the demo the demo purpose. And for the container platform, there are a few components we developed is mainly on the CRD controller patterns. We have our own jobs, we have our own pod. And when you deploy those training jobs, you use LNR jobs, and then all the infrastructure resource management will be taken care by our controller. And at the lowest level, we have our own GPU and the network plugin to make the whole infrastructure fast. That's the, no, I should have more pages. And the problem we are solving is the challenges, including how to load the data fast, because these days the compute capacity, the compute bandwidth is way more than the network bandwidth. Network is often the bottom, so we work on how to load data fast. And then profiling, we try to accelerate the training, right? And we need to identify where the bottleneck is first. So we implement our own profiler to do cross-layer profiling and data correlation. Then we know where the bottleneck is. And then for the GPU management, some inference job, especially, I think, is this for the image classification or just a translation, they won't fully use one GPU, then we can do the GPU sharing to make the resource utilization higher. And another important thing I mentioned as for the training is we want to do the distributed way and auto-elastic. If we have more resources, we can run faster. And the underneath knowledge need to work on is the data or the model parallelism. And also for the network, we are looking at the RDMA network to replace the standard TCP/IP to reduce the times of copy. And then in this slide, I prepare a couple highlights of the existing features we developed. I think it's not too relevant, but I can focus on the neural rendering part. This is how we do the profiling. We have our own exporter, and the time series data are collected at a different level, GPU, CUDA, and the Python level, exported to the time series database. And our profiler will do some data aggregation and data analysis. And this part, if Click to Cloud want to leverage, I think here are some AI capability here. And to achieve this, we need to insert a little intercept library in the user part, then we can extract all the data. Another feature is our AI for the system. Instead of serving the AI workload, our LNR system is designed in the intelligent way as well. This is an example how to do the GPU scheduling. We will first collect some the key metrics for each workload, including, say, the GPU utilization and the memory utilization, and then we do clustering, and then we have a knowledge base. We know which kind of jobs they run together, they perform better than other pairs, and based on that, we will do dynamic scheduling scheme. We will do our suggestions and run the clusters and see how the job completes, how long it takes, and if it's a good pairing, a good sharing strategy, we will keep enforcing it. And if it's not, we just do a different randomization. We generate a different scheduling recommendations. So in this way, we are dynamically improve our scheduling strategy. And another thing is about the data caching. I mentioned the data feeding is one of the big problem, and how to bridge the big data and the AI is one important issue all the platform are targeting at. And here we leverage different types of caching clusters. We could use Redis or Alexio. Those are the two different type of in-memory caching components. We can also use a minimum like a Linux TempFS system to cache our data. And in this way, the training data are pre-cached, pre-fetched and cached, so the training will be faster. Okay, and then we move to the most relevant part. This is a neural rendering application, and we have a model, pre-trained model, and also pre-trained avatar. You can use. What it can do is we will have a source person. This could be a real person sit in front of the computer. Whatever you do, we will extract it to a vector and then mapping into our avatar. So in this way, you can design your metaverse based on your popular avatar. Okay, guys, that's my overall introduction. And if you're interested in this part, we can discuss more in the different meeting.
I think this is very, very cool, actually. I like it the way you have put together this, because this can have many use cases. In fact, what I was thinking, Annie, is like going for a simple use case for a remote diagnostic through the mobile application. So which is like very easy. I mean, we face like around the globe, about at least 50 to 60% people are living in like rural part of the world. And most of them do not have like mode to go to the bigger cities for their diagnostic purposes. So rather than making like very complex, we can make a simple scenario where we can have a remote diagnostic app based on the AI, where people can come and showcase like initial symptoms on their phone and have like some level of communication. So based on the data and knowledge graph, the answers can be given. And then it can tell initial diagnostic, like, okay, you might have one or the other problem. And I mean, I like the overall thing of the avatar thing, but the real life application would be more meaningful for the people who are coming to the conferences, where we show that we make an impact onto the society in general also.
Yeah.
So that's just a thought right now. I mean, we can show all the heart and other stuff, but we can always start with a simple bot, a healthcare bot, where people can come and say like, oh, what's your
Oh.
symptoms today? And they can say like, I have eye problem. And then they take the eye picture and then it goes through the cleaning of the image. Sorry, go ahead, Ms. Zhang.
Oh,
This could
okay.
work.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason we work on this is because it's challenging. The challenge is because the source is not a static, it's a dynamic moving object. But like for your case, if you just say want to do diagnosis, we can easily do say from 5 picture of your eyes, we can generate a 3D view of your eyes, so doctor can view better. That's kind of application we can. This algorithm definitely can do, which is the easier part.
Yeah. I mean, simple application, but actually makes a lot of sense for the people. Yeah, sorry, Danny, go ahead.
Yeah, so Prashant, I like this, remote diagnostic. I think we can tag that to the healthcare case, right? At the end, one of the applications can be remote diagnostic.
Yeah.
As far as metaverse, this to me is not a metaverse. This is actually a realistic scenario. It's not metaverse. Metaverse to me is like people are assuming, they are not showing their own face, right? It's a kind of thing. So we still need a metaverse story, but this one, I think it can add a lot more, zest to the healthcare scenario. We can say at the end, on the end user side, this is the kind of application we can run with AI. So, hey, a quick question, Zhaobo. So you're talking about this is just training. What about inference? Does this LNA work with inference on the edge? Because my understanding, you can do training on the cloud side, but then you might be able to do some inference.
Yeah, this is actually inference, and that's the reason I call it a metaverse. Is like it's not your face, it's other people's face. It could be any person's face, it could be say Brad Pitt or anybody, but you control it. And the training part is you got this Brad Pitt ready, and in the inference part, you just inject your own source video. That is actually the inference.
So let me think about it. It's a very interesting and like really good work. Can we see the demo of this thing, Ms. Zhang?
Yeah, I will need some time to get it everything ready.
Okay. All right. That would be awesome. I mean, if I can see the demo, that would be amazing because these are important for us. And once the demo is ready, then we know the end-to-end scenario, how it works, and we can try some use cases with that. But Annie, I'm with you on the metaverse. We'll do the hard related things, the hard training. At least we'll create the video on that one.
Yeah, that was just a suggestion, but it's something it's believable because it is happening today.
We'll do something in that area. I mean, basically we can do a collaborative diagnostic or research on the metaverse world.
Yeah. And I like it, like 2 use cases are kind of related because they both are in the healthcare.
Yeah.
So, since we don't have a lot of resources, the more we can just focus on one vertical to make it more data rich and information rich, the better.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. No, I think this is good info. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to finish up your presentation, or because we kind of jumped to Zhaobo's thing? Do you have anything? I mean,
no, I think we almost covered it, right? Annie, on that area, we need to refine that presentation. We need to meet with the team one-to-one with Peng and one-to-one with Ms. Zhang, and I can also touch with Dr. Shang about his help on finishing some of the things on the Centaurus side of the world. Mengni can help us with that. So I'll probably start a separate email thread on the TSC for all the 3 scenarios. Try to recap. Mengni, will you be able to recap today's conversation? If not, then I can do it for you. So
I will do the meeting minutes, but
okay.
feel free to send out the email from your side.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll follow up with the email on all the parallel items because we don't have much of a time left. So we can just go like a fast speed on this one. And this month I'll pay attention to this overall initiative.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
We're at the crunch time. We really need to, do this right. So Roshan, so we're gonna have a meeting this Friday, right? So just to go over the next draft.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Prashant, if you feel free. So we're gonna meet every Friday, 8 o'clock, just to, because to go over all these SOWs, and that's kind of the time we set for that. So just want to let you know, just to keep the momentum going. And for the first SOW, it's October 15. We want to make sure that we have, both use cases, presentation done. And then also we need an article to describe each use case, a blog to describe use case, and then a video for each use case. So
Yeah.
these 3 deliverables by October 15.
No, absolutely. I mean, these are 2 different tracks. One is more of a technical and implementation track, and another is more focused on the presentation track. So
Correct.
presentation track, I know that people are already working on it, and that's going on track with that. But I want to see that in the meantime, if we can, at least by November, we can get the demo ready with the TSC team, then that would be awesome, because then we can show something actually working, not like just a smoky air kind of a presentation.
Yeah. I mean, the smoky mirror gave us a vision to.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know, I understand, and that is the goal for us, especially to launch into the community. But at the same time, it would be useful from an learning, also from an understanding perspective, because such a great work has been done by the team. So I'm like, I'm sort of like excited to see what Ms. Zhang has presented today in terms of like avatar and all those things, and how it can be used in real-time scenario. Yeah. So give us some time, Annie. We will have one-to-one meeting. I'll talk to my team, and I will also send the email to other TSC members that if you can jump in and help me. I hope Deepak feels better. And I'll try to call him also to see that if he needs any help or anything. So.
Yeah, he must be really sick, because it sounds like, really sick.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all we have on the agenda today. Anything else? Anything else that you guys want to discuss?
No, I think we can have a call. We can write an email if we need to put anything other than this.
Perfect.
And also, I just put the link to the video in the chat. Just
Yeah, I'm watching it. It looks very cool, actually. Very nice. I mean, this is what we are trying to do. You already kind of like help us.
Yeah. So that's why I was a little surprised to see that slide, because that is very similar to what we are trying to do here.
Yeah. So there is like quite a bit of overlap is there, and which is good.
Just out of curiosity from my side, also for Annie, this question as well. Where did you guys arrive at this topic of healthcare? How did you guys find this topic?
We have a hospital that is actually interested in building this platform. That is based off Southeast Asia. So there is a real customers that are looking for.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like an experimental project. They want us to build this for the real-time scenario. So whatever we saw is like a customer requirement, and we tried to put the Centaurus into the equation.
Yeah, because this is what we need for Centaurus project. To be honest, this year we should really focus on getting some users. So I think it's very nice that Click to Cloud is providing prospective users, and then we start with something. We have to start with something, right? So since they have a user who's interested in this kind of solution and who can give us like real life requirements, then we can just build something towards it. And it doesn't have to be final solution, because that's not the open source projects are for.
Right.
But then at least we can have enough information out there that whoever wants to take it to the next level, make it a commercialized solution, they can. But we should at least have the minimal information, like this is what we can do today, and this is in the vision, and these are the gaps that, and then we can figure out if we're gonna, how we can recruit other people to come help us fill out those gaps. And then eventually company like Click to Cloud, they can productize it, and then put a differentiator on it, productize it, and sell it.
Actually, we have two different industry vertical which we're interested. One was like the telco industry. We have a full use case ready for about 7 telcos. But the problem was the current Centaurus doesn't support storage, and their biggest need was the storage has to work with the edge computing. So that's where we kind of backed off, and we took up the healthcare scenario. So Annie knows the entire detail. Like we started with the telco discussion, and now we are working with this hospital, which is about like 37 hospital and 100 plus diagnostic center around multiple countries. So they need this kind of use case already in their work.
Do you guys have any material on the hospital cases, just what they are looking for?
Basically, one is the remote patient monitoring, which I was talking about, and second was more of a overall business solution where edge-based solution can do AI on the centralized location, and they are looking at like both cloud-based solutions, or they are looking at like either on-premise solutions. So many cloud providers like Azure or AWS have their own set of solutions and the healthcare ready, but they want to try if there could be something on-premise in nature, which can be more like a regional cloud kind of a scenario.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds a lot like what's in that video I provided. So it would be good to find some common ground there and move forward from there.
Absolutely. And that's why we are like literally looking for your help to see that how we can recreate this story successfully. Because any project, unless it is put to a real-time use case, it will not see the day of light. I mean, I understand that's research, but the research has to lead to some use case or usability in the end. So
yeah, this is good.
Yeah, so we are very inclined towards whatever you guys are trying to do here, and looks like this could become a next gen star of the open source community if we put real scenarios around it.
Okay.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Prashant. It's kind of a catch-22, right? If we don't show like some compelling use cases out there, then it's hard to recruit other people to come join the project. And then in that case, the project cannot grow in a healthy way, because then it's just going to be feature weight, project. And our goal is to get as many member companies as possible. I mean, right now it's just feature weight, and I don't think that's the right direction. We should be able to go out there and show. I think that's part of the, success criteria is like the more we need validation, at least from user standpoint and also from other peer developer standpoint. We really need validation there. So going out there, presenting these use cases can give us the validation that we need for this project.
And people will like it. Basically, when they see that it's usable for them, they will start pulling the pull requests, customizing it, building it even to the next level. And that's how most of the open source projects have thrived in the past.
Right. And then for the next use case is the metaverse, because there's definitely a lot of hype around metaverse. And so, and then also, at Future Way ourselves, we actually have a metaverse focus. We have a team of people who are looking into metaverse, and the metaverse is pretty much, it touches everything. It's just like the cloud from 10 years ago. Everybody's talking about metaverse. Everything is metaverse, right? It's everything in the science fiction is metaverse. So we are trying, because we really have the, realistic, we have people who are participating in those metaverse projects in the open source community. So we have something substantial can help us to give us credibility. So we can use metaverse as to generate excitement, and then we'll say Centaurus is the perfect platform for metaverse, and because Centaurus is, the strength is, high scalability and low latency, distributed architecture. This is perfect setup for metaverse. And I think metaverse can give us that excitement. And I know today we're still very far from the true deployment of metaverse, but at least we can tell the story. And then we have the AI piece already. We have the edge piece already. And, and then we have Centaurus platform. That's all these, characteristics, Centaurus. We really think we're at the right time to talk about, Centaurus for metaverse. So that's why we think that also can help us generate a lot of interest, because, we've been talking about Centaurus for 2 years already. We really need some energy into it, and healthcare is hot because of the COVID, the pandemic. And the metaverse is hot, and we're hoping that using these two use cases, we can help energize the Centaurus community. Well, the Centaurus project.
I'm actually also curious about that telco case, but Annie, I think I'll ping you offline to hear a bit more about that part.
We can definitely do that, but right now I think we just want to focus on a couple things first, do it well.
Oh yeah. That part is
Then
just from our own interest.
Definitely telco. I think because, you know, our sponsor is in the telco business for sure. So definitely telco is still very much on the, you know, plan. I think once we get these two done, we also have a format of working with it click to cloud and then how we build use cases. And then the next one should be easier because a lot of material can be reused. It's just how we, you know, spin the story and then how we round up the solution gaps.
Sounds good.
Next year is an exciting year. I mean, I am excited by looking at all the progress, by the way. So I had been little bit of like anger moment in the past with Annie, but that was because of I was not seeing much of the progress. But when I see some of the things happening, I'm excited because I can see that we can present metaverse, we can present healthcare, we can present telco in the next year, and we can energize the entire community to see how good the Centaurus capabilities are.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I mean, your intention is good, and then sometimes we do need, you know, honest feedback, and yeah, and that's what make that's the nature of open source, right? It's a very democratic kind of culture.
Yep.
We really appreciate honest feedback.
And at the end of the day, we work towards the common goal. We all want this project to be successful and thriving and something meaningful. I mean, it's more, along with the business, it's also like an achievement feeling when you see your project becoming so successful.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about the ONE event because we have a silver sponsorship there. We have, oh my God, 3 talks accepted, 2 in the pipeline.
Okay.
So we have a huge visibility presence there. And then we have this half-day co-located event. We're gonna have to promote really heavily. And hopefully, yeah, if you have anybody you want to invite, let me know, give me the list. And we are targeting 50 people. And then, you know, it's gonna be a highly VIP, I'll prepare, you know, make sure we have food and all that. And then it is Linux Foundation kind of sponsor event. So it's very legit, and let's make sure that that event, you know, we can get a really good return from that event.
Yeah, I can ask. I mean, I know Seattle CIO community, and then I have Thai community, which is all the entrepreneur and CIO level people in Seattle. So I can send a note on that one. Maybe I can send like on the WhatsApp group. There's like about 100 people on that one.
Yeah, let's get a group of people together, and then also if we have the momentum, you know, we can also host a dinner afterwards to continue the conversation. So
let me talk to GeekWire guy also. I know the guy who runs GeekWire community here, the founder of GeekWire. So he can also help us to see how we can drive this further. Yeah,
let's work on that together. I think that would be awesome. And then, you know, Prashant, you and I, we can, you know, co-present this 2 use cases.
Sure.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah. All right. Let me work toward it. I think we have a lot more work to do and such a small time left. So I'm already like impatient to see that this working. And Peng, I like your demo. I mean, I'm liking the way step by step, everything that you're showcasing. In fact, you have done half of the work for me already.
I'm glad to help.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope that this actually works. It's not just the pictures. So we need to make sure that these end-to-end scenario actually are functioning in nature. That would be so awesome to see.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see the Cubase resource management. I can see all the different devices working with it, and the real-time code changes. So it looks like it's a functioning demo. It's not just a video.
Oh, we do have a demo in there. It's a video that has a demo video in it. So yeah.
All right, I'll ping you later on because we need to set this environment up and we need to get this running for the upcoming series.
Yeah.
And if we are able to showcase this, I can take you jointly to our customer also and see if we can both can sort of like ask Dr. Shang to support us into that customer story if he's willing to go from that angle.
Yeah, you can invite your customer to ONE.
I mean, the one of the largest customer is based out of Middle East right now. So That's where they are not very like inclined with one or the other cloud. They are looking for like if a data center based application can work.
So did you say this customer, how many hospitals and how many
About 43 hospitals and 97 diagnostic labs.
oh wow.
It's a pretty big, I mean, it's a big chain of.
Is it US?
No, it's a Middle East customer. And
Middle
we have
East.
some, yeah, and then we have some in Southeast Asia also. Pretty large size
okay.
healthcare customers. Yeah.
Awesome. You know what, if this works, I mean, in the end, you can even, you know, I'm sure there's an opportunity for you to work with Huawei on that
Yeah.
solution. I mean, Middle East is their market.
That's right. I mean, that's what our goal is to, because Middle East is looking a lot more than any settled cloud. They're looking more like a data center or regional cloud solutions.
Yeah.
And because of their, I mean, UAE, just imagine that whole UAE has 8 countries in that. And each
Wow.
country have their own set of people, like Sharjah is separate country, Dubai is separate country, and then Azman is separate, and then they have like Abu Dhabi is separate. So all this, within the small span, they have 8 countries, and each country want to hide the data from another country. So
Wow.
it's a great opportunity. I mean, we can just, if we prove that there are many use case scenarios, not only healthcare, but also in different things.
Hey, for you guys, the technical guys, if you guys want to go to Middle East, I mean, Dubai is really fun. I've been there a few times. So if we can make it happen, maybe you guys will get a chance to go to Dubai or, you know. Okay, I think we're at time now. So unless there's any more question, then I think we're done with this meeting. Manny, do you have anything to add?
Okay, for hosting the meeting.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. And
Thanks a
let's
lot,
keep the
guys.
momentum going. Thank you,
Yep.
Prashant. It was good
Absolutely.
information today. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Roshan.